Good evening. Good evening. Hello. Hello. Good evening. My voice is not good today, I'm sorry. How are you guys? Are you good? I'm just making some extra notes for you. Tonight's gonna be good because tonight we've got a different live happening since I'm going to be answering some questions that you sent me earlier in the week. I think it was Monday that you guys, that you guys sent me some questions. So I'm going to be answering some of those questions. So stay here if you asked me a question earlier in the week, because maybe, just maybe, I'm going to be answering one of these questions tonight. Good evening. I'm going to get started to crack on with your answers. I think this is a new expression, isn't it? To crack on. What does it mean to crack on with something? Do you guys watch Jamie Oliver? You know who Jamie Oliver is? Jamie Oliver is the British chef. And if you watch Jamie Oliver, you will see that he's always saying crack on. Crack on. To crack on means to start. My voice is terrible, isn't it, today? I'm so sorry, guys. So I'm going to crack on with, yay, I'm so glad to hear it. With your answers. So the first, Flavia, hello Flavia, you are the first person who is going to get an answer tonight. Flavia, A-H at the end. Say hello to me, I see that you're there. I saw when you came on. So it's going to be really exciting. Flavia, you asked me how to use, and guys, this is a very important question from Flavia. How to use either and neither in a conversation. Now, the first thing we have to talk about here is that you are totally free to choose between either or either to pronounce. They are both correct. Hi, this live is about answering questions that you guys asked me on Monday. So lots of important answers about English, so it's gonna be good. Hi Kellen. So you can say, pay attention to this because it's so important, all right? You can say either or either. It's the same thing, it's just the pronunciation is different. Either or either, and you can say neither or neither. They are both completely different in terms of grammar. The good thing is it's very easy, very easy to learn how to use these words. I am going to give you an example, okay? If you are here tonight, if you are here watching me, I believe it's because you think that you can learn more English listening to English. Am I right? If you're here tonight, right now, with me, you believe that for your English to get better, to improve, you must listen to English. You don't believe that you can learn English listening to Portuguese. Now I'll tell you something. I don't believe it either. You don't believe that learning English with people speaking Portuguese to you is going to help you. You don't believe that. You don't. Now, I don't believe it either. Can you see that I didn't say I don't believe it too? Why not, Patricia? Why didn't you say I don't believe it too? Because this is a negative sentence. You're saying you don't. You don't believe that the best way to learn English is listening to Portuguese. You don't. It's a negative sentence. And I am saying to you, I don't. I'm giving you a negative sentence. I don't believe it either. I don't believe it either. So every time, this is a really easy way, pay attention, a very easy way to learn to use either. Every time that you want to say, yeah, me too, you want to agree, but it's a negative sentence. For example, I don't like running. It's true. I don't like running. If you don't like running, you can say, I don't like running either. I don't like running either. You cannot say, I don't like running too. However, listen up. However, if I say to you, I really like yoga. I do, it's true. I really like yoga. And you like yoga, then you say, yeah, me too. You see what I did here? Now, neither, Flavia, listen up. You asked me this question. No. Yes, you can say that, yeah. But this is slightly more complex in terms of grammar. I recommend me too. I think it's going to be easier for you not to get confused at this stage, not forever, right now, okay? Now, neither, when you talk about neither or neither, the same thing, okay? If I say to you, I don't like running, and you want to give me a short answer, you can just say to me, yeah, me neither. So you're not giving me the full sentence, you're just giving me a short answer, me neither. I don't believe, honestly guys, I don't believe that the best way to learn English is listening to Portuguese. I really don't. And if you agree with me, you're going to say, yeah, me neither, Patricia. Me neither. So I'm giving you a very easy and very quick explanation about either and either, okay? Yes, you can. Jessie, yes, you can say neither do I, and that's a beautiful sentence. Yes, perfect. Okay, this is a quick answer. There is so much more I can say, but remember, first you need to know one thing, and then you know more and more and more, okay? So, what else? Eduardo Guedes, I think you are here too. You are saying, what is this live about? Eduardo, I'm answering questions. One of your questions, actually. So, Eduardo, you asked me a question on Monday, which is a very good question because it's a very quick and very easy explanation, and I think most of you are going to benefit from this. Eduardo asked me, what is the difference between afraid to and afraid of? Now, I'm going to give you two sentences, okay? And the meaning is exactly the same, which is amazing. I'm going to give you two sentences that have got exactly the same meaning. Why am I giving you two sentences then? Because I want to show you the difference between afraid to and afraid of, okay? I am afraid of traveling alone. Actually, I am going to give you a sentence about myself because I think it's more fun. I'm not afraid of traveling alone. I am afraid of driving. Yes, I am afraid of driving. I'm afraid of driving. I am afraid of driving. Now, I'm going to give you another sentence. Eduardo, listen up. This is for you. It's your question. I am afraid to drive. Can you see that I gave you two sentences with exactly the same meaning? Because ultimately, what am I saying to you? Ultimately, I'm saying to you that to drive makes me feel afraid. Afraid is like, scared, okay? What's the difference then? The difference is structure. It's a grammatical difference. Afraid of, You are afraid of something. I'm afraid of ghosts. I am afraid of spiders. I'm afraid of big dogs. It's true. So you are afraid of things. And if you want to say that you are afraid of doing something, then you need a trick. Listen up for the trick, it's so important. Then you need to put ing at the end of the verb. So, afraid of driving, afraid of traveling, afraid of talking English, afraid of speaking to strangers. Yeah, afraid of English. What? No. However, when you say afraid to, you just put the verb there as it is. You don't have to change anything. Very easy. I am afraid to speak English with strangers. I am afraid to drive a car. I am afraid to, die in an accident. I don't know. So this is the difference. It's actually a very small difference. But in terms of grammar, it's a big difference. How am I going to learn this, Patricia? You're going to learn this by listening. So when you sit down to watch series, series that you love, like, I don't know, whatever it is that you're watching, Grey's Anatomy. Don't mock me. I like Grey's Anatomy. So you're sitting there watching Grey's Anatomy. What is it that you're going to do? Listen. Pay attention. Listen. When you are an intermediate student, intermediate and advanced, I always say that it's very dangerous. Yay, you're welcome. It's very dangerous to watch things in English. It can be, don't get me wrong here, but it can be not so good for your English. Do you know why? This is like my own personal theory, okay? Based on myself, based on really watching myself. Why? Because you sit there and you are comfortable listening to English. Like when I'm watching something, I'm comfortable. I'm relaxed, I'm sitting down and I'm relaxed watching something and I understand what's happening there. So my brain is relaxed, okay? However, when you are totally relaxed watching something in English, you are not really learning. So your English stays the same. I don't want my English to stay the same. So what do? I sit there to watch something and I really listen. And I pay attention. And I ask myself, do I use this word? And if I don't, what am I going to do about it? I'm going to make a note and I'm going to make sure I use it. I'm going to make sure I use this word this week. See? So don't get comfortable. Next question is from Juju Maya. I don't know if you're here. Juju Maya, are you here? Say hello if you're here, please. I'm answering your question now. This is a good question. I think a lot of people have this kind of question, really. She asked me how she can start a conversation in English. How can you start a conversation in English when you don't know a lot of English? In fact, she asked me this question in Portuguese. So she said, como puxar assunto em inglês? That's exactly how she asked me. So how to start a conversation? How can I start a conversation in English? I was thinking about this so much. And I'm going to give you a point of view that maybe you never thought about, okay? When you are learning English, you are probably very nervous about being able to start a conversation, being able to talk to people and understand what they're saying. But if you stop worrying about being able to talk and instead, good evening, and instead you start to worry about only one thing, which is listening. the whole thing changes. Do you know why? When you make conversation, when you are in a conversation with somebody and they are talking to you in English, it's very easy for you to feel nervous and for you to feel stressed, and also for your brain to be like, no, I refuse to understand anything. Sorry, I want a break now. It's not gonna happen. This happens a lot. Like your brain is just like, not now. Not ready, not willing, not up for it. So you have got only one thing to do. There's only one thing left to do, and that is listening. When you're talking to somebody in English and you stop everything, you stop trying to ask questions and you just listen. You really listen to what they are saying to you. Thank you. And you really listen to what they are saying to you. You will find a way to make conversation because you're listening. Yeah, that's my brain too. You know, guys, I know how you feel because I've been there. You know, yeah, I had to learn English too. I know how you feel. So, you know, when you stop and just listen, okay, this person is telling me about their job, okay, and you just listen, you're not worried about your questions. Fuck your questions. Sorry, bad word. But you know, who cares about your questions? Learning English is not about making conversation with people. Learning English is about listening to people so that you can learn to naturally make a conversation. Because I cannot give you a script for a conversation that doesn't exist. Okay? So, the person is talking to you and they are talking about their job, for example, or they're talking about their kids. They're telling you, oh, you know, like if I'm talking to you now and I'm like, so, you know, I've got 2 kids and Dominic is 4, Naomi is 3, and we live in Brazil, and my kids really like to play outdoors. They're very outdoorsy children, and your brain is like, shit, what does outdoorsy mean? Outdoorsy? What is that? That's because you are nervous. That's because you are allowing your brain. Good. Do you like bad words? I love bad words. I do. I just do. Especially when I'm like trying to make you guys understand something. Then I just need to throw them in there sometimes. I'm getting excited now and I forgot what I was saying. Hold on a minute. Yeah. So I say to you, my kids are very outdoorsy. And you're like, brain is like outdoorsy. Red alert, red alert, outdoorsy. I have no idea what this means. Who cares? You don't need to know what this means. You just need to listen to me. And then you know what you can do. You want to make conversation. Then you say, I'm sorry, what is outdoor? What did you say? And I'll say outdoorsy. And you're like, yeah, I don't understand. That's how you make conversation, people. And then I'll say, oh, okay, outdoorsy means that you like to be outside the house. You know, you like to go to parks and you like to be outside. You are outdoorsy. All right? I hope I answered your question. Next one is from Julispi, UK. Julispi, UK. Are you here? Hello. Say hello if you're here, please. I don't know who is here anymore. So please say hello if you're here. You're... Vinny, come on. I'm sorry. I'm just going to try and contain myself. It might not work. This question is about pronunciation. And this question is a question everybody asks me all the time. And there is a video on YouTube about this. I made a video about this a long time ago. But I'm going to teach you now, because I'm sure lots of you have not seen this video. So, what is the difference between word? For example, a house is a word, right? And world. World. What's the difference in pronunciation? They are totally different. They are completely different. So I think one of the things that are very important for people who are learning English like you guys is when you see a word and it looks similar to another word, like word and world, don't go thinking they are the same. What is the difference? Don't ask yourself what the difference is. Just know automatically that there is a difference. Because when you, and I always see lots of things about this online. Lots of videos, for instance, I don't know, like what is the difference between, like today, what is the difference between afraid of and afraid to? This kind of question makes you confused. I know you're going to be like, no, it doesn't. But I really think it makes you, oh, that's a good one. I really think that it makes you confused because you're not accepting the language. You're just questioning everything. And you can question and you should question, but you can't question everything because it's a different language, guys. Portuguese, it's your probably your language. It's my language too. Imagine if I sit here and I keep questioning everything about English. Do you think that I would be here now talking to you in English like I do? If I had questioned everything? No. The difference is that my process learning English was very much about acceptance. Okay, English coming to my life. And that's really makes a difference. So, word and world. When you look at the word world with the L is there for a reason. You gotta say it. So that's the big trick, okay? I'm gonna say it. World. And I think it's much easier in British English. Just saying, I know that lots of you love the American English, and I like American English too. Although I speak British English, I think American English is very nice also. But to say world, it's easier if you've got a little bit of a British accent going on. So I'm gonna teach you that. Deal? Let's do it. World. Oh. Well, you can't see it, but it's kind of going up, really. So practice with me. There is nobody watching you. No problem. World, 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 world. You gotta, when you say this word, visualize the L. What I think works, and I hope it works for you too, because sometimes my brain is like hyperactive. I don't know. But I visualize, when you go to a theme park, like Disney World, or if you are from São Paulo, like Play Center or Hopi Hari or something like this. Yeah, a theme park. And there is a roller coaster. Like you go up on in the little car thing, and then it goes down, woo! And then there is a loop that goes up and down. When I'm saying world, I visualize this. Like in my head, there is a loop. So you have to go up, and if you're stuck up there, friend, you've got a problem because you've got to come down. So the pronunciation is right this is totally crazy, but I hope you can understand what I'm saying here. Guys, there are so many of you joining. Listen to me, I'm teaching about the pronunciation of world. For you to get it right, visualize a roller coaster, woo, and a loop. One of those loops. Visualize that. Visualize that you're beginning to say whoa, whoa, whoa. So, whoa. You gotta finish it. So when you say world, is when you come down from the loop. Try it. It's so good. World. You gotta come down. Because when you're not saying it correctly, you get stuck up there. You're just not coming down. You're not actually finishing the loop. Now just imagine you are in a theme park going on a roller coaster and you're stuck up in a loop and you're not coming down. It's terrifying. Terrifying is when it's scary. It's like, hello. When it's like, it's terrifying. So you go up, world. Try, world. Does that make sense? It's the loop tip. It's my personal thing. Okay? I created this. So if somebody tells you it's their creation, it's my creation. World. Right? Cool. Now, the other word is just word. Hiya. It's just word. Word. So you don't have the L. Can you see how one letter changes everything? And can you see how when you accept it, it's so much easier? Accept it, friends. Really. Word. Word. World. Word. World. My head goes up when I do this. World. It's because I'm thinking about the loop. Now I'm not going to think about the loop and just say it so then my head can stay still. World. But secretly, I am thinking about the loop. Irma! I'm happy you're here. So, next question is from... Oh, this is a really good question. From Claudio Acácio. BR. I don't know if you're here. Claudio, if you are here, please say hello so I know you're here. So I know you're here, okay? His question was about beginners. Are you a beginner? If you are a beginner, stay here. He asked in Portuguese. And he said... O que é mais produtivo para iniciantes, leitura ou praticar o ouvido? My point of view, my opinion, you can think differently, it's not a problem, okay? I think you gotta do both if you are a beginner. I think listening comes first, always. In my opinion, listening comes first. 100% of the time, listening first. Guys, imagine that you are a child. Imagine a child that you know, a child in your family, okay? Like somebody you know who is a child, a baby actually, and then eventually they become a child. So a baby, when they are about 1.5 kind of years old, they normally don't speak much, right? They are very quiet. They say a few words like mama, dada, things like that, doggy, few words. But they don't speak a lot when they are 1 year old. They really don't. Why? Why do little babies and toddlers not speak so much? If we are talking to them all the time and we're trying to make them speak, because they're not ready. Because they're not neurologically ready to speak. They can't speak yet because they are listening, because they are learning from listening. I don't know if you have ever met a baby or a young, very young toddler, about 1.5, sometimes even 2, that doesn't have a lot of interaction with adults. That, they don't have a lot of people talking to them. This child is probably not going to speak a lot at this point in their lives. Why? Because they are not listening a lot. It's exactly the same when you are learning English and you are a beginner. You need to first go through a lot of listening, and then when you have listened a lot, then you are ready to start speaking. You're not going to start speaking until you have done a lot of listening. So listening to me is always first, number one, always. Reading is very good too because it gives you the chance to visualize words. And when you visualize words, you memorize. Because most of us, human beings, we have something called a visual memory, which means what we see, we remember. What we hear, sometimes we don't remember. Okay? It's the same thing, like for instance, if you meet someone for the first time and they have a very unusual name, a name you've never heard before, like, I don't know, like a very different name, such as, I had a student once, a long time ago, her name was Elenita, and that's a very unusual name. I had never met someone with that name in my life before her, so I wrote her down. So I could see her name and I could remember. You see, it's visual. So reading, yes, I think reading is great. What can I read, Patricia? I'm from Brazil, São Paulo. I'm from São Paulo. What can I read? Can I read the news? Really? So you are learning English. And we know it's hard. We know English is not easy. We know this, right? Because, let's be honest here, it's not easy. And somebody tells you it's easy, lie. It's not. And you want to read the news. You want to see lots of words that you have no idea what they mean. Really? Yeah, I lived in England for a long time. Why? Why would you want to do that to yourself, really? I don't think reading the news is the best thing you can do. However, there is a website called News in Levels, that's funny, isn't it? www.newsinlevels.com. That website is very good if you want to read and listen. You can do both. Very good tip. I hope I answered your question. One last question. I have to love you and leave you, I'm afraid. One last question. I'm afraid this is an expression. It's not like, afraid. No. I'm afraid it's like, I'm sorry. You know, it's a shame. I'm afraid. So, this is from Badala, I think it is. I can't read my own writing. Badala Leandro. Leandro, are you here? Say hello if you're here, please. He asked me, Patricia, do you think just, and this is the last question, guys, so listen up. Do you think just in English when you are speaking, or you think in both Portuguese and English? I love this question. It depends, because I am bilingual. Every bilingual person has got what we call a bilingual brain. So I always say this to you guys, and I think it's important for me to say it again because there are so many new people here, so you might not have heard me saying this before. But being bilingual is a gift to yourself in your life because it changes how you see things. It gives you a completely different perception of things, and it works on so many areas of your brain and brings a great amount of skills to your life. So it's not about, I speak English. It's not about that. It's about the benefits of being bilingual. So I have a bilingual brain, which means I think in both languages. In my case, not simultaneously. I don't mix Portuguese and English in my brain, never. To me, they are completely separate. So I have Portuguese here, and I have English here. And it's very, very different. To me, they don't mingle. This is a new verb, isn't it? You've never heard this verb before. The books are not teaching you this verb. To mingle means to mix and, mingle. So if you go to a party and you don't know anybody, you're just like watching and like having a drink, you think, I don't know anyone, but okay, I'm gonna go mingle. I'm just gonna go mingle. It means that you're gonna go and make some friends. You're gonna go mingle, okay? So, for me, Portuguese and English, they don't mingle in my brain. They are completely separate. I don't mix them. Because that's how I learned. And that's how I think you should learn. Which is why I'm not talking in Portuguese to you. You see, there is a reason for things, guys. And also because I like being the only teacher on, YouTube and Instagram who does that. I do like being the only one. I'm going to be honest, I love it. So, no, I think in English when I am talking in English, when I am thinking about a situation that involves a person whom I talk in English to. And I think in Portuguese when I'm talking to somebody in Portuguese or when I'm thinking about a situation that will require my brain to talk in Portuguese. So I think in both languages depending on the situation. Yes, mingle, that's correct. M-I-N-G-L-E. Mingle! Guys, this live was amazing! I'm so excited. My voice is like going. Tomorrow morning, I'm probably gonna be talking like this. Knowing myself, because I just get too excited. Alright, beautiful people. Thank you for being here tonight. It was my pleasure, as always. I hope to have answered lots of questions that you guys had sent me. I'm sorry I couldn't answer everything because there was a very beautiful long list of questions. Thank you. But I like to give you a good quality answer, and I can't do that in a minute. So I'm sorry, but I will keep those questions for a later date, for another opportunity. Okay, thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Keep working hard, don't give up, okay? Beijo, bye.